The first thing I'd like to demonstrate is the most simple, basic badge. Simple badges are the easiest to understand. When the Game My App API receives an event for the badge, it awards the badge. Currently, we've got this washed out graphic indicating the badge is unearned. I'm going to click this link, which will send a REST request to the Game My App API, which will then return a JSON response. I click it, and it says that my simple badge is earned, and also the badge for this tutorial has progressed, that I've earned 1 of 9 events for completing this tutorial. In the event log window, I show the event name that was pushed to the API, the REST URL that was triggered, and note that my Facebook ID here has been obscured for privacy purposes. And then finally, the event log shows a JSON response which is a JSON array of responses. The first response has the state of badge earned, that I've earned a simple badge. The notification widget that you create for your application can scrape out this information for whatever notification you want to show the user. The second response returned in this JSON response is that the introduction to the Game My App API has progressed. I'm going to clear this event log window and trigger it again. And you'll see that the JSON response is that the badge has already been earned and nothing else happens. This is automatic. The REST URL is identical to the first REST URL. And typically the client application would ignore any JSON responses that say that a badge is already earned. The very simplest badge. The next one we have is a surprise badge. Notice in the backpack here, we don't see a washed out graphic. We might want a surprise badge as a fun way to reward behavior that you don't necessarily want to encourage. For an example, if a learner highlights a large percentage of text, you could award a everything is important badge just to kind of poke them a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the simple badge and trigger it. And we get the same behavior. The badge suddenly appears in the backpack as earned. And I've also progressed up on my, I'm sorry for scrolling, progressed up on the Game My App introduction tutorial. The next badge type I want to show you is the mystery badge. A mystery badge can encourage exploration for the sake of exploration. Some gamer types are explorers and they like to explore a system to see what it can do. And the mystery badge is designed to give rewards to those type of users. The only difference between a simple badge and a mystery badge is that rather than showing the washed out graphic, we show a question mark to obscure any kind of reference to what this badge actually means. I'm going to trigger the mystery event, and you get the expected behavior that got with the other badges, that the badge is earned, we get notified through the JSON response and so forth. The next concept is event filters, which isn't fully fleshed out in this demo, but the idea is that you can configure rules in the Game My App API that will accept events only under certain conditions. I've triggered this badge with a filter rule that says never accept an event for this badge. So when I hit trigger, I get the response that says events filter. I get no notification, nothing updates in my backpack or in my meta badge backpack for this tutorial as a whole. Why would you want to use this? You might have a night owl badge that's triggered by login events, but you only want to count the event when the user is logged in at night. So we can trigger time-based rules within the GameMyApp engine. The next category of badge is a progressed badge. A progressed badge requires multiple events to earn. Just one event won't do. So if I trigger an event for the progressed badge, I get a response that says the user has done one thing, but they need to do 5 things, whatever that event represents. And similarly, my JSON response says that the badge has progressed. As you would expect, as I continue to trigger this badge, I begin to level up. And eventually, on the 5th event, the badge is earned. The next concept, which is often confused with the progress badge, is the leveled badge. For level badges, you can think of the idea of Olympic badges where you've got bronze, silver, gold, where at some point you may earn the bronze, then you continue to earn the silver. So we're going to trigger an event where we've earned badge level 1, so the obscured graphic is replaced. But now we also expose that there's a level 2 badge available. We didn't expose that before level 1 was earned. I'll trigger the same event again. And now I've leveled up to level 2, and it shows that level 3 is available. I hit this one more time, and it shows that I've progressed in my GameMyApp tutorial, and that the final badge is earned, and I've mastered the skill, and there's no more unearned badges within the backpack for this category. The next idea is a locked badge. A locked badge would be a badge that doesn't show up until the system pushes some unlock event. So you'll want to lock badges that currently don't apply to the learner. For example, you might want to lock badges for a course, then unlock the badge when the learner enrolls in a course. Enrolling in the course would be triggered as an unlock event. So I'll go ahead and hit that. And now I see that the unearned locked badge, of course it's now an unlocked badge, appears in my backpack. If I look at the JSON response, it shows that I've got a quest unlocked. Now the badge behaves as a simple badge. If I trigger the event, it becomes earned. Had I triggered the event before the badge was unlocked, I would have gotten a response that says the badge was locked. The next concept is meta badge, which we've actually already seen through the GameMyApp introduction meta badge. A meta badge has prerequisites that can be earned in any order. So for example, if I earn my meta 2 badge first, I see I've progressed on my meta badge. I'm sorry, the second prerequisite progresses the meta badge. If I hit the first one, now I earn the meta badge as well as earning the prerequisite for the meta badge. Meta badges allow you to define levels of granularity so that you can have smaller badges roll up into bigger ones. For example, you complete all the lessons to this API, you will eventually earn the introduction to the GameMyApp API. Our next concept is forked badges. Very similar, in fact identical to the idea of a unlocked badge, but it introduces the idea that earning badges is a system event, and I can use those system events. I can use those system events to gamification rules, such as unlocking badges, which is what I've done here. So if I trigger an event to earn this fork event, not only am I going to earn the forked badge, but it's going to unlock 2 other badges. You might want to use this to open up multiple learning or exploration paths based on an event. So you may start with something like an introduction badge here, and the idea with this tutorial is once you've gone through the introduction, that would unlock other paths where you can continue on with this tutorial and learn about gamification as a web designer or gamification as a product owner, and the specific things you'll want to know for those concerns. The fork badges open up multiple learning paths where users can decide they're going to travel that path or not. The next concept is stacked badges, and I actually don't support that currently in the Game My App tutorial. In the Game My App API. It could very easily be added. The idea of a stacked badge is that every time the event is triggered, a new instance of that badge is earned. The example I think of is in high school football, where a defensive player, if they have a really good play, the coach will award them a little skull and crossbones sticker to stick on their helmet. And over the course of their high school career in the season, they'll end up with a helmet with a whole bunch of skull and crossbones on it to show their prowess as a defensive player. The final lesson is combination badges. I've overviewed a lot of concepts, but realize that these concepts are not mutually exclusive. In fact, when we started talking about gamification work, we combined the idea of leveled and progressed badges, that not only would badges be leveled, but you'd have to perform the same event multiple times in order to progress. So here's an example of a mystery badge where I'm not saying what you do to do this, but should you stumble on the event that it takes to trigger it, I've earned my level 1. Now we trigger again, and I've progressed on level 2, but I haven't earned it yet. So I'm combining the concept of progressed and leveled here, and also combining the concept of a mystery badge. And trigger this a few more times, and we will have completed this final lesson. Very good, and now it shows that you've earned the introduction to the Game My App tutorial. If we look down here, I've got a Push to Mozilla button, which would allow you to store this badge into your Mozilla Open Badges backpack. And unfortunately, I've just begun to hook up this functionality, and that will be coming in the very near future. In the meanwhile, if you'd like to play around on your own, you can go to gamemyapptutorial.herokuapp.com. Thank you for your time.